Hello and welcome to Bronze Age Monsters, the show where we wade into the weirdest and wildest waters of the comic books of the 1970s. This season on B.A.M, we're covering the brief life of Atlas Seaboard Comics, the publishing venture of Martin Goodman that some say was a middle finger to Marvel and Stan Lee. Revenge is a dish best served in 4 colors. I'm Matt Howell.
I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, viewers and listeners. Jacob, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too. Yeah, I know. I'm up in your hometown, my old hometown of Portland, Oregon, staying at my aunt and uncle's house while I record my next album. So it's exciting up here and scary and a lot of work.
Yeah, and I gather from some political commentary that it's constantly on fire and full riots still.
Yeah, absolutely. I was greeted by that as I rolled into town. Nothing but Antifas everywhere.
Yeah, the smoking crater of Portland welcomes you back into her charred arms.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I was very, every time, Alicia and I, we now live in Southern Oregon, the hellscape of high desert Southern Oregon. And every time we roll into town, we feel it around Salem, but right as we hit like the Terwilliger curves, the moisture hits us and we're just like, oh my God, my skin, it feels right again. We're just like, no, it's just like, yeah, being right by the rivers again and being back in Portland. It makes us weep every time. And so, yeah, I had that same experience. I'm around water again on sea level and not a fucking Fremen in Trump country. So it's nice to be here. Happy to be here.
I can't do the high desert thing. Renee and I just dropped Athena off at school, and she lives up kind of in the foothills of Mount Rainier, and we were just remarking, like, God, my sinuses are all stuffed up from just the dry air, and I look 10 years older just because of the dryness. Like, there's no moisture. I'm not cut out to be a Fremen either.
No, it's awful. It's an awful climate. I grew up in a rainforest, the rainforest of Mount Hood. Like, that's what I fucking need. I need water all the time. Can't wear a still suit. It's so cool in the movies, not cool in real life. Because where's the shit go?
Yeah, well, we know where it goes.
We know where it goes.
Action of the feet. Come on.
Obviously, it is. Yes.
Cool. Well, we had a great time talking to Jared from Swords and Scrolls last time, and
that was fun.
Got some good feedback on the episode. People seem to dig it, so it was good to have him on. And we have another friend I'm going to have join us now. This is Jason Farrell. Jason, welcome to Bronze Age Monsters, my friend.
Hello.
Good.
Don't expect a Jared level performance.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of. Did he scat at all?
No.
For you guys? No. Okay.
No. There's very few
ho
there's
things that he does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No. He was just repping sword and sorcery. Doing his thing, being ambassador.
He had an amazing outfit on too, so that helped.
Yes.
Yeah. What was he like? A Shriner or something? I just saw a small
marching band jacket.
I haven't asked him.
It was awesome.
It was wild. It was wild. He was really sad on making episode 200 special, so I appreciated that.
Makes sense.
So yes, Jason, I've known you almost as long as Jacob. We met virtually through a place that I've mentioned several times on the show and on our Discord server. 11 O'Clock Comics had a message board forum in the late aughts. That where you and I met, and then realized we're in the same town and started hanging out, and we've been friends since then. You and I were co-hosts of the BOOKHOUSE BOYS, a book club podcast for dudes, I guess you would say.
We had some female. I mean, Emily was one of our diehard listeners, right?
Yeah, but I feel like there was like an inherent unspoken book clubs are wine and whatever Oprah tells you to read this month, and we're doing Faulkner and whiskey
sexist,
and
Matt.
Yes. That was exactly the aim, sexism.
Speaking of 11 O'Clock Comics, yeah, you borrowed the "What are you drinking tonight" thing directly. Did you ever pay them royalties on that? That was
asking a guest what they're drinking.
That's a copyrighted thing for sure.
No, not a guest. Each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was us and Dave Aloisi.
Yeah. That show still exists. If people want to check us out. That's still around there in dribs and drabs on the internet, on the archive.
Dribs and drabs. You can go to archive.org and search for BOOKHOUSE BOYS, and you'll get some Twin Peaks stuff, and you will get some of our episodes that I uploaded there. And there's a Podomatic page that has like 10 episodes.
Okay. So. Well, I think my favorite book we talked about, Sometimes a Great Notion, I think that's still out there somewhere, so that makes me happy.
Yes. Archive.org, I believe.
Yeah, so we've known each other. We go to Kung Fu Theater a lot. We hang out. I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. You do Douglas and Dragons. Can you mention that podcast a little bit, since we are doing our bona fides?
Yeah, it's kind of in semi-hiatus, but I have been doing an actual play Pathfinder podcast with some friends, one of whom is reading Kafka on the Shore now, by the way, which was a book we did on the Bookhouse Boys. I've been doing that for like 10 years, which is crazy. And I don't really think of it as a podcast, but it definitely is. It has like 250 episodes. It comes out very erratically these days, but there are a lot of them out there. If anybody likes to, I think part of the reason that I can't accept the Bookhouse Boys as a guys club is that the Douglas and Dragons, it really is. Like, I can't believe we would ever retain a female listener for longer than like 60 minutes. So,
right.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, but it is kind of for us first.
That's fair. I mean, I would imagine any kind of playthrough podcasting like that it's about the gameplay, not about the entertainment first, right? You're not trying to think about.
Yeah, I just show up and play a game with my buddies.
So let's talk about you as a comics man.
Yes.
So what was like the dragon you're chasing? What was the issue or the artist or whatever that lit your fire for the comics medium and blew your mind open?
Oh, okay. Well, this is not necessarily indicative of like what lights my fire now or what I went on to, but as a kid, I read comics, as lots of kids do. I just read like superhero comics and things like that. Randomly, didn't really collect them. It didn't matter to me if I read number 3 and then number 8. Uncle Scrooge off of Spinnerack kind of stuff. And then I drifted away from comics probably when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. And then I had a really boring job in a mall that nobody shopped at, selling T-shirts. I'd see like 3 humans a day. And there was a Walden Books, I think it was called. It was a retailer next door that had these little like not ziplocked, but polybagged, like 3 packs of comics or whatever. And I bought one of those just to have something to do, and it had the Max number 1, which I found interesting. I'd never seen art like that. I didn't know what Image was. And then I went to the comic shop to see if I could find more of that, and I found Sandman. And setting aside the whole, who wrote Sandman and where that went, Sandman was like revelatory to me at the time. I had no idea that comics existed that were anything like that. And so that's what really catapulted me into being an adult comics reader. And then I just, from there, I went to, okay, what is this Vertigo thing? And I got more Vertigo. And then it just kind of went from there.
Okay. Yeah. I know when we first met, we talked a lot about Vertigo, the Vertigo line, and that kind of being the backbone of kind of your interest in comics as an adult.
Yeah. In 2009 or so, when we were talking on that forum, Vertigo was, I don't know if it was in its prime exactly, but it was
strong,
robust. Yeah.
Scalped and all that stuff.
A lot of interesting stuff coming out in that at that time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So judging by that story, I think it's probably safe to say you haven't read any of these Atlas Seaboard comics probably in your travels.
I've read Targitt.
Thank God.
No, never previously had. Like scanning the titles, they sound interesting to me. I am just generally speaking in media, I'm an all genres sort of a person. I actually have like a itchy, like, how can people only restrict themselves to one genre? I don't understand. It's like a straitjacket on me. So that appeals to me, but I do tend to read more modern comics. And for me, modern is like 70s on up or something. I have not read a lot of things that I know this is the 70s, but I haven't read a lot of stuff, that like predates that era.
Okay. That's fair. Well, we've had some ups and downs so far this season. We're about 2/3 of the way through. And yeah, we've as far as genre goes, we've had police action, which had 2 different short story characters in it going on, existed for 2 issues, and we had some luck with that one. And anything else, Jacob, that even brushes up to what we're talking about tonight from Atlas Seaboard?
Gosh, no, police action's the only thing I really... Yeah, it's the only thing that's even in this wheelhouse, so...
What's been the best so far? Am I allowed to ask that? Is that an award ceremony?
Matt says no. Matt says you are not allowed to ask that, actually.
For Botan.
Okay. I've been smacked down multiple times.
Oh, you? I'm in good company.
No, yeah.
Don't show your cards yet.
Yep. We're going to be revealing our list, our rankings of all the titles we talked about, all the number ones or whatever, at the end of the season. And people who guess accurately for either of us or both of us or one of us, whatever, will win some prizes. So yeah, we can't really disclose that. I don't think much of it's going to be, a mystery. I think most people that listen to this season could probably guess one of the top 3 at least of what on each of our lists. But
sure.
Yeah.
So far, Target's my favorite and my least favorite as well.
That's fair. With a 1 for 1. Okay, cool.
So you haven't read any of the issues that we've talked about this season?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
He's coming in nude.
Okay.
I got these off archive.org, and speaking of archive.org, another plug for them. Donate. They need it.
We do.
Do you guys have hard copies? Well, I know you have hard copies of these because Jackson sent you like an entire vault of comics.
He did.
But something happens to the art in these around page 8 or so. It becomes like smeared with Vaseline. So that was
scan.
Yeah, so that wasn't great. So hopefully, I don't know if that's a Target thing or so. If I might, go and try to read some more of these issues before your finale, but hopefully they're not like that.
Yeah, you'll have to call it out if you see that in our art we're displaying while we talk, because I got these from Read All Comics or some pirate site that lets you right click and do save image as. So I didn't.
You would
use
know.
Archive. Okay.
It was super obvious.
Yes. However, we as a podcast donate to archive.org, and we do let people know when the issues are available there. And you are correct. All 3 issues of Target are on archive.org, so you can safely grab them. Are we ready to jump in to Target?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So this issue is on sale on December 31st of 1974, and it has pencils and inks by Dick Giordano. And if you're just listening, we have an extremely canted angle, like a ship tilting hard right. And there's frogmen in the foreground and purples and blues, and they're holding spear guns and knives. And they're menacing the titular character Targitt, who has his back up against the wall. And I think this is really cool, the layout and the approach here. But as we've mentioned many times before, Jacob and I really like when Jeff Rovin, the editor, wanted the clean covers without all the stuff on it. And this says Atlas Comics on the top on a banner, all new, no reprint. Then there's a box above Target that says the word from the mob is out, get on, ... Then his title. And then one of the frogmen is saying, you've had it now, Target. You're going down with a ship. And then below that is another box that says Target tackles a vicious drug ring in the Boston Tea Party. So while I think this is a really cool layout, I feel like it just blew it with the vomiting of boxes and text all over it.
Yeah, it totally ruins it. I mean, how awesome would this have been without any of that? It would have been a great cover. Yeah, I do.
See?
Yeah.
You could
that's what it looks like without all this stuff.
Looks awesome.
Right?
Well, spoiler, a lot of verbose, hard-boiled-esque dialogue in this whole issue, so it kind of sets the tone.
True. Did you take all that out too, Matt?
There's 17 words in this whole comic after I'm done with it.
Now.
No, I just did a little back and forth. I just banged this out one night when I was listening to a podcast. Just it's not perfect, but just a quick Photoshop job, just to see what it could be.
Is the wall bleeding, by the way? I didn't notice that before, but
no,
it looks like he's shooting.
That's a spear gun hitting the wall next to him.
And you're talking
Right,
about
it's
the
like
bottom.
red, it's red underneath the. No, I'm talking
think
about
the
the
way-
spear hitting the wall,
okay.
and then it's red.
It's just a exciting action color.
That is action color.
I-
Red is color
I
of
do
action.
I do like the cover. Yeah, I like the dynamic angle, and it's not just kind of like, ooh, let's be sideways to be. It actually does make sense because I think you're right. They're on a ship, so. And the yellow background really makes everything else pop.
I agree. Jacob, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's a really cool cover. I'm really glad. I think it looks awesome when you take everything out. And the all-new no reprint. I don't like it. I like when Atlas Comics is centered. If it's centered, it just makes everything so much better. So
Yeah.
I don't like, it ruins would it be a pretty cool, striking Dick Giordano cover, which is a bummer because it's really cool.
So when I was looking for something related to this, I found out that there were French ones. Have you found these yet, Jacob? I can't believe I'm finding them this late in the season. There was a French thing called The Scorpion, and it was basically taking a bunch of these stories, Targitt, Scorpion, and something else, and making them like anthologized for French audiences. I'd never seen that.
Well, you see it when you go to GCD. You can see because it'll be like reprints in, and then notice this and the Scorpion, obviously, and one other thing, also will be like in Scorpion from 76 is when the series was, right? Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be like Grim Ghost, trying to think what they would possibly think French audiences would want, but beautiful cover.
I noticed that too because I looked up this writer, and that's the other credit he has, and then Jackie Chan comic.
Yeah. Yes. Hell, go away. Okay, so we ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so normally we would have the credits page, but this one we have an opening, and I love the opening narration. A damp day in April, John Targitt, special agent for the FBI, sees his wife and child off on a short vacation. And then it's like, oh, can't you come with us, John? He's like, oh, I got to tie some things up here, and I do like her. She was just like, oh, I wish I were a golf widow. At least then. And then she's like, look, don't worry, romance comic panel. That's really nice and cool. And
he's kind of short with her, don't you think?
He's a little short with her, but he's a man and it's 1974. So,
look, I told
that's the way of the times.
She's henpecking him or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so then, he's like, oh, I'll just be gone 2 or 3 days at the most. And I'll have mother keep the mutton warm. I don't know. A lot of the dialogue in this is just really fucking bizarre.
Is that sexual innuendo?
I'm hoping so. Honestly, that would make it way more interesting. And you're like, thanks. Take care of my little girl for me. And then we get a nice little panel. It's just like, oh, bye, daddy. And and then we hear a whomp, and we kind of know what's going to happen next. It's a very simple page layout. I think it's funny. It's kind of goofy and milquetoast in a way of just like any type of romance comic. Daddy's staying for work, and mom and kid are leaving. So it's very just like, oh, okay, this is pretty normal stuff. But then we see on the next page that it's not normal at all.
Her name is Kyle.
I think they mean Kylie. I'm assuming they mean. I assume they mean Kylie, and either John Duffy or someone just didn't do it, or maybe her name's Kyle. I'm cool with it either way.
I'm trying to think if I've ever met a girl named Kyle. I kind of like it.
It's the most progressive note in the entire comic.
Yeah,
I have always been like, I like when there's a boy's name on a girl, especially if she's like Dale from like Flash Gordon or something. Like, I think that's cool. But you have to be the right type of woman to carry a guy's name. Like, you don't want to necessarily have a guy's name, and I don't know. It's complicated.
Well, look at that look. Look at the look in her eyes. She's confident. She's a piece in her own skin.
Yeah, she could be a Dale. She could pull a
She's-
tail off.
She could pull a tail off.
She's a handsome woman.
She could ride a horse.
Handsome
Yeah.
woman. Yep. Okay, you're right. So we have the Womp and then a 2-page spread, which I haven't seen a lot this season. But yeah, really nice top half of the 2 pages showing this explosion happening on the plane. And then the bottom row, we get these nice little square panels, a very Mike Zeck picture
Oh,
of
good call.
the guy like looking over his shoulder as he hears the explosion. And then we see the weird dude we saw briefly on the side of a panel going, smoking a cigarette with a smiley t-shirt on. And the guy screams, FBI, get out of my way. And in the tower, they're calling, there's been an explosion. I was really impressed by the plane, the detail in the plane, and the Mike Zeck kind of expression reaction from the husband.
It's a really cool 2-page spread, especially that plane explosion is really, really cool. Yeah, I was impressed. Especially after kind of the blandness of the first page, and then you open to this, and it's striking. You're just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So normally you get the credits on the first page, but I know you wanted to talk about Howard Nostrand. Is that his name, Howard?
Yeah, Howard Nostrand. Yeah. And so, well, yeah, I mean, we got RIC MEYERS, who I think just wrote one other thing. Well, he did a story in Thrilling Adventure Tales, right? That was the only other thing he did. Yeah.
Yeah, that cop thing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he did the cop one. Yeah, with Toth, which was so cool. And that's it. That's pretty much his 70s output, at least, his 3 issues of Targitt, Thrilling Adventure Stories, and then that all like Jason said, just in 1997 he does some Jackie Chan's Spartan X, The Armor of Heaven from 1997, and then he does a Thunderbolts comic in 1999.
Random Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
So did I see, Jacob, that he like after Atlas Seaboard folds, like Jeff Rovin gave him a gig, like he ended up writing like a bunch of like kind of monster and fantasy like film books about movies and TV?
Yeah, he was pretty prolific, I guess, but his comic, output not so much. But yeah, I think we talked about that in Thrilling Adventure Stories. How Rovin kind of, I think gave that guy kind of a second career a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about the way they list the credits there?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's weird.
Yeah, so I was trying
Letterer first.
I didn't realize that Rovin was an editor. I guess he was an editor.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But Duffy's the letterer, right?
Yeah.
And then Myers, the writer, is in the middle there, and the artist last. Is that normal to Atlas comics?
Nope.
I know it's not normal to comics in general.
Yeah, but it's a good bit. The letterer has his name above everybody else. That's a funny bit.
Funny, but we've never seen it. No,
you never see that.
Very unusual. I just had to look at this, so I also do like the splash and the plane is rendered very nicely in explosion, but the fact that they put a person exploding out of the plane is
cool,
really
right?
going the extra mile.
Well, that's what we've seen from Atlas Seaboard is, they really lean into the violence more than anything.
They try and push the boundaries and be a little bit edgier. That was Jeff Rovin's kind of mission. So
yeah,
Do you think that's Kyle?
That'd be sad.
That's the little kid. I don't know.
Yeah, let's say it's a little kid.
Look at the length of one of those arms, though. My God.
Yeah, I didn't notice that on the first read through. Actually, I just thought it was just detritus.
No, that's a person.
Flotsam. No, that's a person.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was I'm interested to hear more about Nostrand because he was kind of new to me, and I just did a little bit of digging before we read this. But the stuff we've seen even on these first 3 pages is all over, and I'm hoping you can shed some light on that.
As far as this, I don't know why his style is all over the place on this. I feel like it's a little stronger in the other issue, but we'll get to that at the end. But yeah, I mean, Howard Nostrand is a really interesting guy. He was born in 1929 in New Jersey. He kind of, got into comics through, I think, one of his father's friends. He talks about getting to be an assistant for Bob Powell at Harvey Comics Fiction House. And so he just kind of assisted him on that. And then I think he went to Harvey after that and worked there. He shows up in a lot of Tomorrow's publications because he worked on the 3D comics that Harvey did, which are endlessly fascinating to Tomorrow's Publishing, which I don't get it. Maybe I'm not old enough, but I think they're cool. But they do so much stuff on them. Like they're just obsessed with those 3D comics that look kind of dumb. And I get it. Like I get it. It's a cool bit. I get it. But yeah, and then he just went on to, and not a lot of Harvey stuff had credits. And yeah, so that's the whole thing, is that he became known by basically, I think the first thing he became known for was being like a Jack Davis imitator. And then he, there's a really cool article by Bob Stewart from the Comic Journal. Did you see that, Matt?
No.
It's a Comic Journal article from March of 1985, and you can find it. I think it's even linked on his Wikipedia page. Really, really cool. It's called The Nostrand Zone, and it just goes super in depth. It's really long. It was so long, I kind of had a hard time just pulling stuff from it. So I'm just like, go and read it. It's great. But he talks about, he was really fascinated by him, and he would do these, like some people would call swipes. Like he was encouraged, like a lot of people were encouraged to kind of imitate EC artists, because EC artists was kind of like the artiest stuff at the time. And so he kind of, did that with Jack Davis. And he did that, with some of that stuff. But he was so good at it that people started kind of noticing, and even the artists were just like, oh, well, that's cool. It's actually more, instead of a swipe, it's actually more of an influenced by. And it's really cool. Carl Barks once labeled him the good artist because his stuff was uncredited so much. So it's it's really interesting. Bob Stewart's article gives side by sides, talking about there's this famous time where he redrew this sequence from a Wally Wood issue of Two-Fisted Tales. But he's not swiping it, he's redrawing it and changing the angle slightly and kind of making it better in a weird way. Like it's not what you expect for swipes or anything like that. It's really, really interesting. And so, he just went on to do a ton of that. He kind of got out of comics after the Senate hearings. He went into, commercial art, and just kind of did that for the rest of his life, pretty much, except the one thing that he was kind of famous for with writer Ed Herron was the syndicated Bat Masterson strip. So that went on for a long time. He was assisted there by Neil Adams early on. So he came back to comics to do this, and I think he did an issue of Vampire Tales from Marvel. And then at the end of his life, did a bunch of stuff for Cracked magazine. I think his last credit is in 1980 for Cracked. Have
you seen any of that? Does he have a looser style on that?
I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I guess for the. Oh no, he did. He worked through the 80s. Yeah, through the 80s on Cracked, and so I think he went back to that Jack Davis style. Is what I've read and what's in this article, because that would fit, right? But I highly recommend people check out that. It's called The Nostrand Zone by Bob Stewart. And it's from the Comics Journal 96 from March of 85. Really cool article. Very flattering, and lots of quotes from really cool artists who were just like, we were just mystified by him. Like there wasn't any credit, but he was copying our work, but in a really artful way, copying our style. And it's cool.
Yeah, the only stuff I encountered with him and prepping for this episode was just kind of like somebody's blog, I forgot who it was, just saying that, he was called a swiper by fans a lot over the years, and he has since been reevaluated, and they consider he wasn't swiping things. Like you were saying, he was synthesizing. He was taking what people are doing and doing something different with it. And so he's not a hack, and by any means. He was just referring it to other people's work and then changing it.
I just think it's cool that, especially in that article, it came out just interviewing artists, and they were just like, we didn't think of it as swipes at all. We thought this guy was cool. We were like, who is this guy? Like, how is he able to kind of imitate our style, but change it in kind of a cooler way sometimes? And they were just all, he was a mystery. Like, he was a mystery to fans and other artists for years.
And he wasn't a tracer.
No.
Like he was.
No, that's the crazy thing. I mean, in that article, it shows
these styles.
Yeah, it shows that Wally Wood sequence. It's bonkers. It's so cool.
That's you could call it presumptuous, or you could call it, I mean, that's to take Wally Wood as your base. And it's like, I'm gonna improve this.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty cool. I don't know if it's an improvement on that, but it's damn cool what he did.
I heard that word come out of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Okay, so yeah, and then we get to the aftermath. Yeah, sitting Kyle again. I just kind of figured it was Kylie, or a weird way of saying or spelling that, but yeah, so he's like, dear God, Maureen. And I thought this was an interesting part. So a plane exploded. There's lots of stuff that is on the ground and from suitcases and horrible things that you definitely don't want to pick up. But he picks up a crumbling copy of a Boston newspaper and just infers a lot from that. And his boss,
okay, so it took me multiple reads to understand, because he says it later. That's fragments from the bomb.
Yeah,
so it was packed inside of the bomb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why he picked it up, right? He recognized it as part of the explosive material.
I guess, but anyhow, so he recognizes that his bosses, Carl.
If I could say something about that, it is a theme in the way that they choose to advance the plot and feed information to Targitt and to us. It is often very convenient, let's say.
Yeah.
If not completely random. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Something that didn't work here for me, though, because I had to read this multiple times to understand what that is that he's picking up, why he picked it up, why it's not burning, why, like, it just felt very weird.
Or how did he even just get next to the plane? I guess this is the 70s, but it sure doesn't work that way now. Like,
well, didn't he screamed FBI
out of the terminal?
He screamed like FBI let me through or something in next to the last panel we saw.
Right.
So,
and then runs out onto the tarmac. Okay.
Yeah, he has a badge.
I get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so his boss and associate show up there, and they're just like, oh, this guy named Bert Minetti was also on that plane. And they're like, we swear we didn't know this was going to happen. And so we realized that, he says, you mean that my wife and daughter are dead because someone wanted a mob boss out of the way? And then, this kind of sets him on his violent road right here, where, they're like, we don't know that for sure, John. He's like, well, you don't know that, buddy. Me, I've got some other ideas. I'm starting my vacation, Carl, right now. If you want me, I'll be in Boston.
He's a tough cookie.
He is a tough cookie.
Yeah, I had to laugh at Carl and what's her name?
Jackie?
I can't.
Jackie.
Oh shoot! Just kind of showing up at that exact moment at the airport. This is one of those incredibly convenient moments where just we need to pass this information on to Targitt, so we're going to have his the field office lead or whatever this guy is called, Carl here, just show up just to let him know, yeah, there was a mob boss on the plane.
Well, I thought that was why he was there. Keep it
moving.
I thought like that.
That's what I thought too.
The higher ranking guy being there.
Were they going to make an arrest?
Like he was working a case involving Minetti or something like that, or some mob RICO case. So he was there.
That's what I thought.
Making sure Minetti was on that plane or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I was like, what the hell were they doing there so fast? And then I realized, oh, they were on the Minetti thing. So, yeah. Jacob, did you, in this last panel here where he says, I no longer have a home, did you hear Bela Lugosi also?
That's damn right I did.
Doing the best home.
Best speech ever.
Hunted. Despised. Yes, so the art. it's an interesting quality to this stuff. We're going to see in the letters that somebody complained saying, like, God, this Nostrand guy, man, I don't get him. Like, there's no backgrounds anywhere. I wouldn't agree with that, but there are quite a few of these, like the lower left here, where it's just orange.
There's a lot of them.
It's some very simple line work, which I don't mind, like on Targitt's face and that orange one. Like, it's very, very simple. But I don't know. I don't mind it, but it did feel like it was just kind of all over the place. But all right, so I'm gonna move on here. So he gets to Boston, and there's a weird hippie dude on the phone saying, "Hey man, it's just like you said. There he is. He's some dude with a mean on." So they just recognize him by, "Hey, it's a blonde guy, and he's good looking, and he looks really angry." And the guy's like, "I found him, man." And he says, "Right, the guy's a goner. Goodbye." And then he takes off. And while Targitt's walking along thinking about, drug suppliers and the syndicate and all this stuff, and there's nothing that's going to stop him from getting revenge for his family. And he's going up the escalator. The hippie guy somehow ran around a loop and got to the bottom of an escalator. And he's going up and he whips out a gun on Targitt. And Targitt thinks, "I don't believe it. The oldest trick in the book, and I nearly fell for it," as he holds up his briefcase to kind of, I don't know, try and hit the dude, which kind of deflects where the gun's going. So the gun goes through the bullet goes through the case, I guess. Kind of unclear. And then I love this panel where he's jumping over the divider between the up and down escalator and kicking the dude in the face. And then we get a between the legs shot of him pulling a knife out of his ankle knife holder. And he says, "You need a couple more years of schooling before you can catch me like that, punk."
So the knife, can I say something about the knife?
Please.
You guys asked me to watch Dirty Harry, and I at first I wasn't sure how Dirty Harry was going to relate to this, and I found out very quickly as I started to read it. I actually didn't think of this when I was reading it the first time, but there's a scene in Dirty Harry where he has a switchblade that he tapes to his leg. Because he can't have a gun with him. I think when he's going to take the money to the Scorpio. Job. Speaking of Scorpio, so yeah, I'm thinking this is probably a reference to that. And his his boss says, or I don't know, he's some kind of superior, says something like, boy, I don't know the San Francisco inspector that would know how to use a weapon like that. Very disapproving. That's not a classy cop weapon.
Yeah. I mean, to me, this whole page was just setting up that this guy's a loose cannon, and he has experience, and he doesn't take any crap from anybody, and he's willing to go outside the lines.
That's right. So yeah, on the next page we see, just exactly what he's all about. Because I really dug these that first panel, especially of him throwing the knife, like forever, and then it gets the sticks in the guy's shoulder, and it's like, "Oh man, I'm hurt. Give me a doctor." Then he throws him into the men's room, and I like he's like, "You go to college, crud? Boston University, maybe."
One of those elites.
Yeah. He's like, "Man, I'm bleeding. You're killing me." And then he's like, he says, "I'm considering it. You know what this is, freak? It's a newspaper from Boston. I found it on the wreckage of a plane. Someone used it to pad a bomb. You're going to tell me who that somebody is, aren't you?" And so, he's hitting him in his injured shoulder. I'm assuming.
Does he punch his head all the way around?
Yeah. Is that what was happening there? Because then he sticks it through the... Oh, yeah. It's so bizarre.
He was sitting the other way, and then I don't know if that's intentional, but that's what it looks like. It looks like he's somehow knocked him backwards. His head is now facing the wrong way.
Between panels, he spun him around because he is punching him in that same shoulder.
Yeah, he's punching him in his injured shoulder.
Yeah.
Yelp.
So he spun him around. I mean, this whole sequence here, this is also a reference to Dirty Harry. I think when he break Scorpio's nose or something like that, and he's saying,
he's like crying and saying that, I'm bleeding. He shot him. It was in this. I think it happens in the stadium. He stabbed him, and then he's limping away, and then he shoots him, and he becomes a mewling little whiner, and starts. You got to get me to a doctor, man. Yeah. think that's very conscious.
So yeah, I don't know. A lot of Dirty Harry stuff going on so far here, and I just liked him punching the hippie in the knife wound.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Oops. Okay, so on the next page here, we have him at the Boston University dorms, breaking in, and there's a gun. Someone's waiting for him. I've been expecting you, Mr. Targitt. What an appropriate name, because you make such a perfect one right now. A lot of blacks here. I kind of like the moody blacks, but it is a little minimalist. I don't know. Some of this feels a little, not rushed, but just half effort to me, but maybe that's just me interpreting it. But it's the heh guy with the smiley face t-shirt at the airport. And he asks him, he says, I killed that pig Minetti. Now I'm going to kill you. And Targitt's like, why? What is the point? They just replace the head of the mob. And he's like, well, I handle all the drugs in this city, and I don't need that guy like pulling my strings, telling me what I can do in the city. So I killed him, and now I'm going to kill you. And he says, you know what this is? A Combat Magnum 357, one of the most powerful handguns ever made. So we're almost word for word in a sequence from Dirty Harry, the opening of Dirty Harry, a very famous monologue.
Yeah, the most famous.
I don't know. Those first couple panels are kind of cool in a weird way.
Yeah, can you rewind?
Yes, sir.
So I do want to. So did you guys understand why he went to this dormitory room? Like how he knew to go to this particular room? Was that
because
clue laid that I missed?
I thought it was because he punched that dude in the knife wound. So he said, "You're going to tell me everything you know about blah blah blah." So part of that was,
and that happens after off camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and yeah. So I kind of like the weird crazed look this guy has. I like all the weird hippies in this book.
Especially that last panel.
Yeah.
It's kind of unhinged looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's a good
cult
one.
member or something, but he's just a drug dealer. He's just a drug dealer.
That's all he is.
He's
Well,
the
he wants,
drug dealer,
yeah,
though.
he wants
He
to be the
handles
big
the
drug
drugs.
dealer.
He wants to be he wants no one to answer to.
And he's got a 357, so who's going to stop him, really?
Exactly. So, yeah, next page. Yeah, he continues with this. It can blow your head clean off. Or maybe I could destroy your knee. And then, no. Targitt takes him. What was he? Karate chops
Is that
him?
John Lennon?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yerk?
Yep. And that is a poster. That's a poster of John Lennon there. And his jug of Gallo wine from Werewolves on Wheels, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah.
We got cinder blocks holding up the bed, the cot. Some good details here for the naysayers.
Mm-hmm.
And the great sound effect, yerk.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like when you get smacked across the room.
So yeah, he throws this guy up against the wall. Do you know what this is? And then gives him another knuckle sandwich. And this is a strange sequence coming up, but it starts here. This gal shows up. He's showing up. Says she's like, oh, I'd better hurry. It's almost dinner time. And walking by a door. And some weird stuff's going to happen to that door. Next page.
Some Looney Tunes action.
Yeah. This panel, I really hung on this one for a long time. Like I was trying to think, like, how old is Nostrand? Like, if you say like hippie drug deal or whatever, there's a White Album portrait of John Lennon, Ernest and Julio Gallo, fortified wine.
Nostrand's 45.
Okay.
What's that say on the side of the
sun-kissed oranges?
Yep. Orange crate for your record player.
Crate used to hold the records. Yeah. Player.
Pretty cool.
Or is that more just him saying this is a college dorm room?
I think
it's his concept of one. Yeah.
I mean, it's not far off.
No.
It's pretty accurate, really.
Yeah.
This is where I don't know if this was on the show, but the copy that I used to read this, the art started to go crazy and it was all blurry everywhere. So I'm glad to find out where he threatened to shoot him, because I could not make out knee at all.
Oh, weird.
And I was very, very excited to find that out. And I don't know if I just missed the John Lennon poster, if it was like Vaselined, but that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of like wondering, is this guy anti-hippie, Nostrand, but then when I realized, oh wait, it's in the dorms. He's just drawing a dorm room.
Or Mr. What's his name again? The writer.
I think Rick Meyers is pretty young.
Yeah,
Spoiler,
Rick Meyers
he's
is
anti
young.
quite a few things. Okay,
let's move on. So yeah, a head goes through the door. She's walking by. Crash. Huh? Crazy freaks. What now? This is the physics of this whole thing. I love how this dude's head is out backwards, hanging out the door. She pokes her head in. And here's another one of those convenient things. What a jerk, writing down his mob contact. What would I do without these inept guys? She enters the room and sees him going through all the conveniently written down plot points. And he thinks, oh, great, just great. So long, miss. And she's screaming, help, Fuzz, help. So she's a hippie college student. She's probably been out singing some Joan Baez songs out on the campus. And she comes home to this. And then the hallway. Again, I wasn't really walking in with a dorm on this the first couple of times I read this. So now that I'm thinking this is a dorm, this is a very sinister college. Hold it, Fuzz. You ain't going any place, as these disheveled hippie students are hanging out. And there's a very confusing to me panel of him beating them all up, all four of them. But
yeah, like a football running back.
It's like a peachy folder, like just like
a peachy
riot
folder.
of
like
a riot of interaction. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, I don't know. I was engaged by it. It made me laugh. So
me too.
Yeah,
I mean it's not Old Boy, but it works. I like this guy's hair, just kind of like swirling, or it looks like a whirlpool vortex.
Which guy?
The guy on the right with the black hair that looks like it has streaks of gray in it.
Yeah.
Just a little detail there.
All right.
I mean, this is probably, he let them off easy.
He did. He just broke their noses.
These guys just got knocked astride.
All right. So
He's
next
attacked
page
by a
it
lot
says,
of bugs.
should I go on?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says, yeah, later at Haymarket Square. I kind of like that guy. The likeness, it's pretty cool. And we find out that's Victor Spinoia, syndicate hitman. And then so this is something that comes up again, but I kind of like this. So he's basically just going to be walking around, Haymarket Square, and he keeps seeing all these different like hitmen and different things, and he's like, oh, we got Alan Greenberg, killer extraordinaire. And then like, and then again, and he's like, oh, sloppy boys. That means, I like he says, if Alan's in front of me, that means, oh, Michael Rosen, knife man. He's out there. I like that he says, I was never sure whether they let him out during the day. And he's got quite a mug on him there, which I thought was pretty great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought this was kind of funny. He's walking around the square, and he's basically just being surrounded by like hitmen.
I thought for sure these guys were going to be references to somebody, but they didn't seem to be, like people in the comics game being made into these mob killers. But no, seemingly not.
Seems like one of those things. Like there's one of them is referenced later. I think Sal Amendola gets mentioned, but that might be in another issue. Like he has as a mob boss, but he's actually a comics guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacob, I was digging these guys too. I mean, this feels like not this so much, but these two hitmen look like some kind of Jack Davis thing, right? Like you can almost see this being in the magazine. And I love this too. Like you were saying, like he sees those guys, he knows them, he has their number immediately. It's like, oh, if he's here, then I just over my shoulder is gonna be, yep, there he is, the knife guy. So he's on top of this, and he looks very breezy about the whole thing.
So did you notice? Did you notice up on that panel how all the I think all the little marquees above there? So we got Chip Goodman. There's Roven. We got down here.
M-Ep?
Yeah, we got that's Chip for Goodman, and then we got Roven, Adams. So I don't know. I thought is that kind of a thing, the thing that we love.
I love that. I did not notice it. I'm glad you pointed it out.
What's conky nose or something like that? Is that anything?
Oh, it's a mystery.
I don't know what that
anagram for Krusty Bunkers.
Yep.
Okay. So he says, yeah, come and get it, boys. Just try. And then he just gets the jump on him, punches that dude in the face. Like the other guy's got his garrote out. As the other guy pulls a knife out. So, I mean, once they spring, he's like a tiger leaping into action. You've got an ugly pug there, pal. I think I'll rearrange it. He pulls a gun out, his giant hand cannon, shoves it in the guy's nose, and blows his head off.
Yep, blows his head right off.
Yeah, so, the smoke, no comic code infringement because we got a big smoking cloud, but he just shot the dude in the face.
Yeah, I mean, they treat it like Looney Tunes, but...
Yeah, with a big oversized drop of sweat and everything on this guy's face. And
it's just crazy that they let them get away with that. So the first guy says, you bought it this time, Targitt, wipe him out. And then the boss is there again, hold it. You're all under arrest. This is the FBI. And then the shot heard around the world goes and breaks his pipe up.
Little shout out to the podcast there.
Yes. So interesting, I suppose.
Did J. Edgar Hoover smoke a pipe by any chance? This is just a random poll all of a sudden off the top of my head. Did he smoke a pipe? Okay.
No clue.
Probably not. I just suddenly, because, this guy smokes a pipe. Like a old fashioned, like Jacob smokes, actually. Right?
That's right.
I do know some other things Hoover was into, but not pipe smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what Carl gets up to clothing wise.
But yeah, we kind of see we see what happens next on the next page. We got a lot of bam, bam, boom, boom. And it's like, oh man, who ordered World War III? And it's like, oh, he's making an exit. And I like this. I do love this sequence on here. It's so like, it is. It kind of, it's like Jack Davis with weird Ditko physicality. In a way of just stuff going everywhere and coming from crazy angles. And like, I loved it.
I like that one of the fruits, tomato, mango, whatever that is, gets shot. It appears like a bullet actually hits splats the red fruit.
Yeah. So we get more of kind of like, I don't know, kind of gets, we are getting a lot of like humor or kind of Looney Tunes type humor in this. We keep getting it to where, Targitt jumps behind some boxes. And I love how he's like, oh, what do we got here? He's just reading a note. It's like, bam, 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 bam. And it's all being shot above him. And he's just kind of crouched down with a nice little expression on his face, reading a little note he found.
Finds his clue to our next stop.
That's what he got.
Random of places.
Well, no, he got that from the room, right? That's because the guy was keeping notes. I
thought he found it. I thought he found it back there behind the box.
So did I.
He says, "What have we back here?"
But first, a present for my friends upstairs.
Because remember he sorry.
What did the piece of paper mean if he found it back there?
It tells him that these boxes are being delivered to the Mystic Seaport, and it looks like there's some scuba gear there at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that note is
back
there.
Our fishermen.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the fishmonger hut is a cover for this part of this drug thing. That's what didn't make sense to me until just now. Because that's why there's scuba gear there and where they're supposed to do that underwater deal.
Where they go to the submersible thing, yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good thing he dove back there.
Yeah. Way too many of these.
It would have gone cold, the trail.
Way too many of these for me in this script.
Yeah.
This beyond coincidence, like Brady Bunch level scripting.
Well, I think right after this maybe is where I thought I had a stroke. We'll see once you
find out.
I may be jumping the gun, but we'll see.
Jacob, I also like this sequence here. I wasn't digging the story, but I thought the execution of this was really fun and very physical. Sure. You were saying like Looney Tunes. It was cuckoo. Okay, so the present for the friends upstairs. He, I guess, has put together that this is a front for the drug people, so he throws a grenade up there. That guy on the left appears to have Deckard's gun from Blade Runner. Like, that's the biggest goddamn gun I've ever seen in someone's hand before.
Thick.
So it's a Puritan Fish Company. It explodes, and then later we cut to the office where the loose cannon cop gets dressed down. He's got, look at it, his little penitent kind of pose, his hands in his lap.
Posture.
I think he's fucking with his boss, like actually messing with him, because he sits in here and the guy's like, yeah, read him the riot act. He's going, whoopee, doing this hand gesture. And, he gives him his credo, which is never trust anyone. Don't stick your neck out, especially in a noose. And that's what he lives by. And then he says, well, I'll make sure you never work again. And he says, well, then does the syndicate close shop on your orders, Carl? Because if you fire me, that's not going to make the syndicate stop selling drugs. And then he says, what does that mean? Whatever you want it to mean, buddy. He's like, well, I'm warning you. You go back to LA. Forget about this crusade of yours. Go suck a lemon, Carl.
So cool.
Yeah, we're definitely entering some pretty corny territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the mushroom cloud of rage coming out of his pipe, though, in that next to the last panel.
Like a Popeye thing.
It is like a Popeye thing. Yeah, I know. It's goofy as shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so later that night at Boston University, and he's going through window, and I've been expecting you, Targitt. He's like, oh man, this is where I came in. And we see that the guy with the smiley face t-shirt is dead. He says, and this is where you go out too, for good, just like the kid here. This guy says, the little idiot thought he can control the drug dealers. He never even knew who he was dealing with. And so this is this big tough guy who's, laying this on a Targitt. And then he's like, and neither will you when I pull the trigger. You'll be off, Targitt. And then, bam, he gets shot in the back.
I did like that callback to the previous dorm room thing.
It's cool, right? Like, that was actually pretty clever.
I guess it is. I really wasn't sure what I was looking at. I thought, am I seeing the scene from before? Did I hit my back arrow on accident?
No, it's just a cool callback.
It's a cool callback.
Okay.
I thought
no
it was
stroke
cool.
involved.
You put them next to each other. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So
so now he's at the Boston University dormitory
instead of
A, because he's going back to the same one, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there you go. Now it's as specific. It's the same one again.
Gun's
I
different.
thought that was cool, and I just had to do a double
too.
check when I was reading it. Like, is it a stat? Or is that what that's called when you just reuse? I can't remember now.
Yeah. But no, not a stat.
Not a stat. Completely redrawn.
Yeah, everything's a little different. Yeah, it's posture and all that. So this is the boss, right? I can't remember his name, but he's doing his own dirty work. The guy that he said he didn't need because smiley guy said he didn't need because he controlled other drugs in town. This is him. This is boss. What's his name?
No, Burt Manetti blew up in the plane. This is Spinoia, isn't it, Jacob?
Victor Spinoia. Yeah, it's Victor Spinoia.
Oh, that he saw in
Haymarket Square.
Yeah, he was following him there. That's him. He killed the dude. We see who put the bullet in Spinoia. It's Jackie. And
I have to remark before it's on the previous page, but I'm surprised you didn't groan out loud, Matt. The you'll be off target.
Oh yeah,
is the corniest joke in this issue.
Jacob,
you shrugged. You don't think so?
There's a lot of clunky writing in here. At this point, I was just like plowing through it,
just rolling with it.
Yeah. I did get the dumb joke in it. I just was trying to not draw attention to it.
Oh, I'm sure you got it. It's just, yeah. I don't know if you've eased off the puns are not as egregious for you these days, but
yeah, I mean, just a lot of the writing in here was a little corny like that, so I was just giving it a grace note, just a little bit of a pass. So it was Jackie from before that put the bullet in his back, and she's kind of freaking out that she's done it. What have I done? Carl told me to stay away from you. And he says, you just saved my life. And she's like saying, why didn't you tell Carl all about this? Like, you're basically giving him partial information and working with outside of the Bureau guidelines. And whatever, and he could have helped. And he's like, I wanted to help Jackie, but I couldn't take the chance. The mob has been one step ahead of me all the way. I've got some hunches how, but I can't be sure just yet. And I did like that panel with the shadow over him. I thought that was kind of a cool effect. Like showing that he's literally and figuratively like kind of in the shadows of, the law. Like he's partially working in the law, but he has to do his own thing outside of the boundaries a bit.
And in the dark as far as like knowing what's going on.
And yes, another spin on that as well. And then she's like, well, you're still trying to ambush that drug delivery. And he says, hey, losing Kyle and Maureen ripped my heart out. And as long as I live, the mob's going to pay. And he says, I'm not looking to be a hero. I'm just going to do my job. So little speech moment there. Yeah.
And our first glimpse that there's supposed to be some sort of sexual tension with Jackie, which comes up in another issue, at least one other issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
trying
the
to kind of
is over,
slows down and humanizes him a little bit or something after the more cartoony action and the violence.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked about this. This next page, this might be my favorite page of the whole issue because I just thought it was awesome. And suddenly it becomes another comic. Weirdly enough, it becomes Sea Devils or something like that. And it's later at Mystic Seaport where ancient seagoing vessels provide a basic tourist business. And then so he's out on a rowboat, and I like he's listening, and he's like he hears a word, and he's like, there you are, boys. And then we get 3 beautiful wordless panels. There's been so much clunky writing, as you said, Matt. And now we just get 3 beautiful panels of a little underwater submersible. These guys go and take it into what they call a pressurized transfer compartment that we'll hear on another thing. But yeah, I love, so they're taking the drugs and put it into this little underwater compartment. Very, very smart.
I was super into this page too. Like I would like to have this. This reminds me a lot of like a sequence from like Diabolic. Like Diabolic is just made of stuff like this. Like him following some drug smugglers to do some weird drop like this and then stealing it from them and then, blah, blah. I love all this stuff. And the wordlessness put it over the edge of just brilliant to me.
Yeah, it reminded me of the James Bond as well. I can't remember which movie it was, but there's one that has a lot of underwater scuba diving sequences, and they are very quiet.
Thunderbolt?
There's definitely no dialogue. No, I haven't seen that one. Oh man, which one is it? Like never.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt has some famous underwater sequences, like fights and stuff in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, love that page. It's great that we cut inside the boat, and as Jacob was alluding to, he says, whoever thought of this pressurized transfer compartment was a genius. So yeah, the whole conceit here is like, instead of loading the drugs onto the ship where you might be being watched by the authorities, we're doing it underwater, and then they close off, a seal, and then they unlock the seal inside the ship, and the drugs are there safely put aboard. But, it's not that complicated, but it's kind of cool. And then so they're like, all right, let's put it all into the helicopter, and we're moving on. Next stop, Canada. We're going to move all this H or whatever they have. And we see Targitt climbing up a rope from his dinghy. And then he says, hold it. You aren't going any place but 6 feet under. Blam. Hand cannons firing.
Hand cannons. I love it.
And he's twice as badass as Clint Eastwood because he's got 2 of them.
It's true.
Nope.
Yeah, most guys have to use 2 hands to hold one, right? Not John Targitt.
No, Targitt. Yeah. Yeah, so we see, he's coming in, she's coming in blazing, what the devil? And they're like, who is that guy? Frank, quick, get in. Then yeah, they're trying to get in, but yeah, Targitt just keeps blam, blam, blam. He's like, the money, Sharky, get the money. Sharky goes to get the money. No, you don't, blam. And then, one guy's taking a club, tries to take a club to Targitt, and that doesn't work. And that's Sharky. And Targitt does some pretty crazy. Can we just call that judo, for Christ's sake?
Hey.
Can we take a drink?
Sure.
Can we please take a drink?
Is that a drink?
Judo drink.
Oldest drink. Yeah. So Yeah, poor Sharky.
Yeah.
I thought these emotions confused me at first. I thought that Sharky had done some extremely elaborate movement. I said, okay, he did a full somersault flip, and Targitt appears to have whirled 360 degrees with one leg and like kicked him because it's describing an arc. His leg is describing an arc.
Yeah, I don't know if Targitt did a roundhouse, and then the other motion line is showing how the guy like went ass over tea kettle over the side of the boat.
Yeah,
Kind of weird.
that part's fairly clear now to me, but yeah.
Basically just an ad for Action Pants.
Gotta love the action slacks.
Action slacks, thank you.
And he
that
says-
was a crowbar. I thought that was a golf club on that first panel too, Jacob. But now I see in the second panel it's not.
I know, right?
Weird.
You can just see the little indentation in between, like, where the prongs of the crowbar are. Just
Yeah.
like little divot there
For prying. For
for
pulling
prying
nails
purposes.
okay. Dramatic conclusion here. Die blast you. What does it take to stop you? Bam, 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 bam. And he picks up another gun. More guts than all you birds got put together. And then he just starts going cutting loose as the helicopter tries to maneuver away with its cargo of powdered death. Targitt answers with the wrath of an avenging angel.
That answers your question, Matt. Cocaine.
Yeah.
Birds? The only way I've ever heard birds used is the British word for women.
Yeah. I've heard
But
shitbird.
is that his way of calling them chickens? But he says birds
Cuckoo birds.
instead. I don't.
I think that was Meyer just trying to sound cool. Not-
Gangstery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not doing a great job with it.
Didn't land super well. I like how the helicopter is banking.
Yeah.
As he tries to get away.
I feel like Nostrand is using some reference photos for airplanes and helicopters. They're pretty accurately in detail.
Yeah.
So Jacob, you said that he was in commercial work, I guess before this, and then maybe also after this.
Yes.
Do you know if he did any commercial work in this area? Like, did he get to draw the Boeing or whatever was pretty detailed as well? Did he do any of that kind of work? Do you know?
No clue.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be hard to track that down, but
Yep.
Yeah.
just in case.
Okay, we're at the final page. So yeah, we get the big explosion, and again, maybe just like showing bodies flying away from air explosions, and so kablam, and then we get this very badass sequence, and Rick decides to do some writing here, which I thought was interesting. So he says, the silence following death is always a misleading one, for the air still crackles with hate, the water still stinks of oil and blood, and Targitt's mind is still filled with a dread purpose. It was very dramatic for what we have seen from the rest of the issue. And then, so he carries that money and throws it in the deep. And then we get the end. Because he's not about the money. He's about the revenge.
Yep.
Right. It's a little like Dirty Harry throwing his badge in the water at the end of that movie. Although I would assume the FBI would probably be like, so where's the evidence? We're going to put them away. Where's the money?
Put who away? They're all dead.
Yeah,
Put that to drink,
one of
Carl.
That is Target 1. All right, it's time for our shout-outs. Many of the show's listeners support the podcast by becoming Patreon members. There are several tiers of support to fit every budget, but the most popular one is Pack Member. That's $5 a month. They get the weekly bonus show, which we call the Shadow Show, in audio or video format. And they get special gated content that previously mentioned tiers below that don't get. They also get shout-out credits in the bonus show and verbal shout-outs in the main show, like this. And that is fine folks like Ben Potter,
Blake, last name withheld.
Brad Elmore.
Brian Steed,
Brian from Marvel by the Month.
Caleb.
Dave Kennedy,
David D.
David Goodwin.
Glenn Lash,
Grace.
James Shigas. Sorry, James. Didn't pronounce that correctly.
Jared from Swords and Scrolls podcast,
Jason W.
Jeff Fitzpatrick,
Jerry from Buffalo,
Justin the Owl,
Kyle from the Heartland,
Matt Harvey,
Melissa Watts,
Michelle from Moonlit Comics,
Mighty Morphin Blue,
Pat Zvek,
Rob from Marvel by the Month,
Russ from Tomes of Evil and Taste the Pot of Dracula,
that's right, Shadavid,
Tony Ayupi,
Tim Tucker,
and Worm Drive Pro. Thank you to all the pack members, but there is one more tier in our Patreon that is called the Star Gods. And Star Gods are celestial barbarian deities who are at the $10 a month level, and they get everything that we had talked about, all the different stuff on our for our bonus shows and all the different things. But we also make special gated content that's just for the Star Gods. We have something coming up probably in the next month or so that Matt and I have been talking about that we're pretty excited about doing just for the Star Gods.
yes,
And and Star Gods also, well, if you're a Star God for 6 months, after that, you get your choice. You can pick out whatever you want from our Threadless shop, shirt, cup, whatever you can find. And you also get shout outs on the main show as well. And the Star Gods are fine folks like Ben M.,
Bill Eschbach,
Brink,
Eric Hadley,
Jason Finestone,
Jesse McFerrin,
John Walsh,
Josh Link,
MJ,
Mark Nivens,
Michael Giacchino,
Ryan from Across the Bifrost, a Mighty Thor podcast,
and Uber patron over all patrons, Jackson Overstreet.
Thank you, Jackson, for the targets. We got the targets.
Yeah, we got all 3 of the targets.
Didn't mention this yet,
very generous.
but I did make for myself. Sometimes I make things just for me, and then I share them with folks. Pack members and Star Gods. I'm going to be putting up my link to the Vicky Omnibus. That's right. I went in and made Tippy Teen, all Tippy Teen related things. So it's all the 25 issues of Tippy Teen, the 4 issues of Teen In, and all 12 issues of Go-Go and Animal. And they're in order of publishing. So
Very cool.
Don't feel bad if you don't care. That's totally fine. It's just I cared enough to actually want to make that. So I made the omnibus and I think I'll share it with you guys. So that's going to be on the Patreon page. Anybody who likes teen humor comics from the late 60s.
Nice.
All right. So there was a letters column called Letters on Target. And can I go first?
Sure.
So Jason, we're going to each read a letter here, and this will be kind of like the game of we try to spot the plant, which ones are editorial putting a letter in, and which ones are real fan mail. So listen to this one, and then we'll vote. Dear Atlas, I have purchased all but 2 of your comics, and I must tell you that Target is your best effort to date. I think he is just great. He is without a doubt the most refreshing comic character since Spider-Man, and is likely to surpass the Web Slinger as the most popular comic character in the industry. One is tempted to compare the great, or soon-to-be, Target with Eisner's Spirit. Nostrand, like Eisner, makes effective use of dark shadows, dynamic camera angles, and has a flair for drawing really attractive women. Yet the Spirit embodied the 1940s in that he stood for the virtues of the radio, pulp, and comic heroes of the era. Target not only lacks those virtues, don't we all, but seems more cynical and impatient than Denny Colt, the Spirit. In other words, Target is most representative of the chaotic ways of our times. That's why he'll succeed. Another thing that makes Target such a great character is that he doesn't live by comicdom's golden rule for heroes, always be a nice guy. To be sure, all of Atlas's characters have broken with comic tradition to a greater or lesser extent, but Target is easily the best creation. Steve Lambie, Mogador, Ohio. And this was published in issue 3, so that would be Larry Lieber on editorial duties, writing back. What makes us so excited over Target, Steve, is that he is so today. And judging from the tremendous mail response, Atlas fans agree overwhelmingly.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Nailed it with the Spider-Man thing.
Is this real? Or is this written by someone on staff?
No, planned 100%. Yeah, Jason,
Yeah,
you're right. It's
yeah.
the whole like, without a doubt, the most refreshing comic character since Spider-Man, and is likely to surpass the Web Slinger as the most popular comic character in the industry. Plant, obvious
Spider-Man's-
Plant.
Spider-Man's a fan.
That could be a deluded fan who went on to love the Punisher more than anything, more than life itself.
No, Steve
But
Lambie, fake. Mogador, Ohio, fake. Fake town, even.
What really sells it for me is that he basically writes a little mini essay about why this character is so relevant and how, and I guess it's in the same issue. There's another answer from the editors that basically says something like that, like what we're going for here.
Yeah.
So it's just like serving it up so we can, oh yeah, I'm glad you get it. Yeah, we think so too,
I don't think anybody in their right mind would compare Targitt to the Spirit.
That's also really funny.
And I'm going to check out some Nostrand stuff based on Jacob's research and talk at the top of the show, but I don't know if he's Eisnerian.
We do have to acknowledge that this being a plant, that Larry Lieber himself, the editorial staff of this comic, predicted that this comic would become more popular and more enduring than Spider-Man.
Yeah. And this is issue 3. This is published in, which is the final issue. And by all accounts, from what we've read in Comic Book Artist number 16, they all knew the wheels, that it was dying. So as much as they put on a brave face in the responses, they knew that this wasn't going to be going on much longer, if at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next? Who wants to read a letter? You ready, Jason?
Go, Jacob?
Jacob?
Whichever.
Jacob.
I'll take this one. All right. So, dear Atlas, first of all, I want to congratulate you on a relatively solid debut. I've purchased every one of your new comic book titles, as well as most of the black and white magazines. My favorites so far have been The Phoenix and Planet of Vampires. Please continue these fine titles. Now we come to the bad part of the letter. As terrible as the pre-code comics were, I feel that not one is as abominable as Targitt. First off, the mag couldn't have been more derivative. You might as well have called it Death Wish. What I object to is not that it was stolen from the movies, but that it was so brutal. It seems you have given John Targitt tacit approval to take the law into his own hands. As such, the mag is beyond to lynch law. Oh my God. Really, the hero is to be pitied instead of glorified. The worst thing I can say about Targitt is that the unconstitutionality is, that's a weird one, that it is an unconstitutional. It is an abuse of the comic art and goes against all rules of the comics code. I wish you luck with all your other titles, even the insipid Lomax, but I hope Targitt bombs out, really. Larry A. Miller, Fontana, California. Didn't like Lomax either, huh? But let's see what Larry says. Sorry we've offended you, Larry. This may come as a complete surprise to you, a pleasant one too, we think. But we feel as Targitt learns in this issue that the gun is not the answer. However, we cannot disregard the events in John Targitt's life, which have shaped his personality. He was burnt once too often by the inhumanity that sometimes plagues government institutions, and by the brutal, vicious deaths of his wife and daughter at the hands of the mob. Because of this, he understandably trusts no one. And so Targitt had to find the superhero in himself, with a little help from Jerry Conway and ye old editor Larry. And by the way, if you'd like to see Jerry doing his thing with a couple superpowered heroes, take a look at this month's Tiger Man and the Phoenix. Jerry was doing his thing.
Plug. Man.
Yeesh. Yikes.
That I really had to laugh when I read that, about when he says Targitt learns in this issue that the gun is not the answer, because that is a very generous interpretation of what happens in this third issue. Well, there is a scene where he's told he can't take guns, and he's like, "That's fine. I want a needed gun anyway." But it wasn't like he decided not to murder people.
Well, he doesn't need it because he's super powered.
He becomes super powered.
Yeah.
He can throw people around.
He has servo mechanisms in his suit or something.
Servo mechanisms, yes, which allows you to lever people up with your foot.
Yeah. So he gets essentially Iron Man level. He doesn't need guns because he's Conwayed.
Yeah, he doesn't swear off them. He's just
Right.
too powerful now. Yeah. It's so I assume non-plant. I mean, you could like do a fake criticism thing, but I think it goes too far. I think I think especially when it just parenthetically says the insipid Lomax.
He doesn't
They
like
would
crime
not.
comics.
They would not. Right. Oh, that's not a Dr. Seuss book. He doesn't want like secondhand fire there.
I feel like this one could kind of go either way because it almost feels like it's like edgelord. Like, let's write a letter just saying, like, you guys are pushing it, man. You guys are going to, this is too violent. This is too edgy. Like, you know, like blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. This one I confused me. I think it might be real, though.
I think it's real.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I think for me, actually, that Lomax thing is like the thing that really cements it for me as real.
And just saying they're stealing from movies was also, they probably wouldn't stick that in. Like, it's just ripping off Deathwish and Dirty Harry turds. You know?
Yeah.
All right, Jason, you're going to bring us home with one last short letter.
All right, dear Atlas, I think your new mag Targitt is a winner. It seems you are competing more with MGM than with Marvel. The Brute is like Trog, and Morlock 2001 is like Fahrenheit 451. I got to read that. Now Targitt comes out, and it's like Bullitt, down to the 2 T's. I'm not knocking you. I think the movies are the best art form to ever hit the world, and borrowing from a few of them is not a bad idea. Good luck, Atlas. D.D. Shanklin of Dover, New Hampshire. I'm sure they're excited by this one. Needless to say, comics and cinema are closely related art forms. For years, comics have borrowed cinematic film techniques and vice versa. Now Atlas has carried the relationship a step further by employing cinematic ideas for the comic medium. Let us know what you think, all of you. And if they did, we didn't get to find out.
Yep. Plant.
Have you guys done Morlock 2001 yet, or is that later?
We did.
We did.
It's just like Fahrenheit 451.
Pretty heavily. Fleischer just ripped off Fahrenheit 451, and what else, Jacob? What was the other one?
It was.
1984?
I was going to say Brave New World.
Yeah.
Brave
It was,
New World. It's kind
Yeah.
of a hodgepodge.
It's kind of, it was kind of a bunch of everything.
All your social dystopias thrown together.
Yeah. Jason, do you not listen to the show?
He doesn't.
Some of them, but I haven't listened lately. I haven't listened to the outlet. Sorry, you can cut that out.
I don't care.
Staying in.
Do a fake voice. I listen to them all. No.
AI. Okay, so the rest of the story, we're going to briefly just talk about the other 2 issues. This did go on. As you can see from the covers, there was a change in direction after the first issue, namely that he's wearing a superhero outfit.
And I think it looks better in this 3rd cover than it does in the comic. I think they should have gone with that style.
Yeah.
With the face open like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the second one kind of starts as mostly the same creative team, right, Jacob? There might be Gabe Levy helping write it, but that was or something. But
yeah, Gabe Levy is the writer, I think. But I don't know. I liked issue 2. I thought it was great. It just like kind of it was more ridiculous, and the body count was so high. And I actually thought the art was a lot more consistent. Like, I actually really enjoyed issue 2. I thought it was really entertaining and made me laugh a lot.
I agree. I thought it was more fun. It was more nakedly what it was trying to do instead of like just trying to be this tepid kind of reworking of Dirty Harry and Bullitt or whatever it was trying to do. Once he just went balls out and it's more like Sledgehammer or something, it was a lot more fun.
It was great. I had a blast with issue 2.
Wildly violent. He lets some dudes get hit by a train in a tunnel, and he's splattered with pulpy liquid.
Yeah. He's pulped bone. I did kind of wonder, like, why did they even bother to make him an FBI agent? They should have just made him like a secret agent, because that's how he operates the entire time, and that's increasingly how he operates as it goes on. You know, there's nothing police procedural whatsoever about it. He doesn't. It's the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not the International Bureau of Investigation. It's like, I don't know. It's just very strange.
I think if I had to guess, I would say that they were going for the cop, even federal level cop thing, and then they realized we just want to have the blood and the violence. We don't really care about the procedure as much. And so in issue 2, you see here that his guy saying, turn in your badge. He gets fired. And then we find out later, after he gets hooked up with some weapons from another guy that got fired, that the whole thing was fake. They need him to be completely undercover. So now he has just a free license to just murder people as a like a black ops guy.
Yeah, because basically they had two choices. You know, when they found out that he shot the guy point blank in the nose, they could either put him in prison forever, or they could take him off the books, disavow him entirely, and just say, go ahead and keep shooting people in the face, or throw them into vats of acid. Also, that's fine too.
It's awesome.
Right. I think I didn't include that. Yeah, he does throw a guy into a vat of crude oil that's being processed, purified. Yeah, he's completely savage in this second one. I didn't include anything from the third one just because the third one, Conway comes in and he does get the suit has powers in it now. It just was just nudging it towards being a Marvel superhero clone thing, and it was okay. Yeah. But the second one I liked, had a lot of fun with.
A couple of standout things for me is somebody's a gun nut, because he really goes into a big digression about where the Uzi is manufactured.
Oh yeah.
And as he's in a deadly gunfight, he's admiring it handles well, and yet it also, shreds these mannequins and humans.
Yeah.
Very just a paean again to the Uzi. And also I realized it was 1975, but the racial stereotype stuff in this was rough on for me.
Like Arab people, Arabic
yes,
people?
Yeah, Effendi and all this kind of. It was. I don't know if it was this issue or the third issue, but there was a point at which he swings into action and he says something about their manners, or are you just all like that? Are you not taught any better, or are you just all like that? It's very yeah. It's politically correct. It is definitely not. Set aside the going around shooting people, taking the law into your own hands stuff. It's yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm with you, Jacob. I thought the second one was a hoot. It seemed to be just kind of like, we know what we want to do now, and we're just doing it without any reservation. And I really thought it was fun. And the third one was just, okay, Conway's here to make this into a superhero book.
So I like the name Hunch too, for his supposedly fired buddy who supplies guns on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how long this would have run if Alice had kept going. I don't, especially with what they did in issue 3. I don't think anyone would have been happy. Like the people who wanted to see him go and shoot people, be judge, jury, and executioner, wouldn't have been happy. The people who want a superhero book would say it's too violent, like with guns. I mean, it's just a weird mutant at that point.
By the way, another nice splash when he runs himself off the road, kind of. He gets run off the road, and there's like an avalanche. So there's all these boulders, and it's him in the Jeep careening down the hill with all the boulders, and then he explodes at the bottom, but he's okay. And that's all. And that we have another nice big splash pages.
Yep.
So that was cool.
Yeah. So this is time for final thoughts. Jason, as a guest, would like you to go first. We're specifically talking about the first issue, but we kind of always end up kind of talking about the run of the book in its entirety, ultimately. But yeah, what'd you think?
Okay. Well, it was so the writer seemed to want to do kind of a hard-boiled thing with the dialogue, not just tough guy dialogue. It actually it's I mean, there's one-liners, I suppose, in like Dirty Harry, but he's a little more laconic than anything. But this is like more verbose than that, and more like Sam Spade almost, including that last page where Jacob said now he starts to really write. It's that it gets a little more purple, and it's this interior monologue, and it sounds like something out of one of those pulpy novels. The dialogue was, I mean, it's of a time, but it was rough. It was very corny. And just from a plot and character development perspective, the way that it kind of jumps around, and I don't have a lot of respect for Targitt as a investigator, let's say, but as a man of action who is undeterred, he's pretty good. The art I liked a lot better than the writing. They're, like you guys said, it kind of fluctuates, some of the styles, but in the kind of Dave Gibbons, and you mentioned another artist that was like spot on when it was showing the guy with the smiley on his shirt. I forget who you mentioned, but that kind of just very clean art that shows you exactly what's happening in the action and everything. It was pretty good. And I don't know. Again, maybe if I read more comics from this era, I always think of there being a lot of empty backgrounds and stuff in comics like this. So that didn't really even occur to me as a bad thing. But it also spotlighted the action, which the driving action was what they're going for here, I assume. And like my modern sensibilities think, especially when we're reading, the editor saying that, he's crushed by the death of his daughter and his wife. I'm like, well, not so much in the comic. He's not, I mean, he barely acknowledges that he's pretty much fine. But that's not what this comic is about. Of course, it's about throw some crazy thugs with funny names at him and have some action scenes. And it does do that pretty well. And yeah, I agree. Toward the end of the comic, when it becomes a little more like a spy thriller, then it's even better. At least artistically, it lets him kind of flex his muscles there.
Fair enough.
And as far as the other two issues, yeah, the more it went into superhero territory and like he's invulnerable. In the first issue, at one point, he's running around there saying like, "How can we stop this guy?" And I'm thinking, well, by hitting him with the bullets is how you could stop this guy. But then in the other issues, it becomes a thing where actually like bullets are like bouncing off or bending around him. So he's got some kind of like, crazy suit powers or something. And he's actually invulnerable. So,
yeah. Jacob.
Yeah. So, I was excited to see a lot of the art. I mean, I wish the art was more even in this first issue. I actually think in the second issue, the art's really even and consistent through the whole thing. But yeah, that was the only thing I didn't quite understand about the art in this. That Nostrand is so, I mean, he's a really amazing artist and he can do a ton of different styles. And maybe he was just trying to do too many different styles on this. But this is also his first comic coming back from being in commercial art for many years. So yeah, I don't know if he quite, I think he got his footing with issue 2. I think this was kind of a rocky re-entry for him into color comics. And so that was a little rough because the story is very slight. Obviously, RIC Meyers, not a great comic scribe, not a whole lot to his GCD, resume there. But yeah, the story was slight, but I was glad to see Nostrand's art, and the parts that were good were pretty good art-wise. That one page of them underwater, some of the other stuff I actually thought some of the funny panels actually worked. Like, I don't know, maybe just because it was a little different than just like basic Dirty Harry ripoff. So, I enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't, I don't think it was great. I don't think it was great at all, but yeah, I got to talk up the second issue a little bit because, man, I loved that. I would actually go back and read that second issue again because not only does he throw a guy into a vat of like refined oil, he empties his hand cannon into the oil, just being like, "Oh, and here's this too," and just like blah 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 blah.
Yeah, what's he called, like a postscript or something?
That was awesome. So that made it for me and almost salvaged the character of John Targitt completely for me.
Yeah, this was a weird one for me. This I feel like the first issue, Nostrand was kind of okay. First of all, scripting wise, the first issue was all over the place, like the weird comedy moments, slapstick with the tragedy of the family dying. It's supposed to be like a Dirty Harry kind of thing, but it also is just kind of cop procedural. He forgets to think about them at all. The guy has no interior life, which Jason kind of alluded to. Like, he's so driven and is so action oriented. Backgrounds and interior monologues aren't really that important because he's driven by purpose. But it just felt really, really slight, anemic story-wise to me. Lots of convenient plot points just to get him from point A to point B to the point of like beyond belief, even suspension of disbelief. And the art just was kind of all over. So I felt like I enjoyed the second issue much more because it was almost like they said, well, that was Goodman telling us to do a death wish or a Dirty Harry knockoff. Now let's do like a grindhouse version of that. And issue 2 was just like, fuck it. We don't even care. Just have him kill everyone he sees, shoot up a mall, department store, whatever. Like, I enjoyed it for it just being nakedly whatever it wanted to be. And the 3rd issue I thought was very forgettable. But yeah, I don't know. The first issue itself I found pretty uneven and just kind of lurched around between comic things, strange things. I don't know. I had a hard time enjoying this one. When it worked, I really liked it. And that one page of them doing the drug drop underwater, I thought was amazing. But yeah, I had a tough time with this one. So I'm not a John Targitt super fan by any means, I guess is how I'll leave that one.
What do you guys think of this as far as some of the unevenness of the art or like the different styles being used? So that scene where he does shoot him in the face, one of the So he's drawn pretty cartoonily, the guy who's about to be shot. And there's the oversized sweat and his facial features become kind of exaggerated. And he's got this hyper scared look on his face. And then there's the poof. It's all, the smoke, almost like a flag coming out of the gun, but much more deadly. And I wonder, like, in the script, it's like he puts the gun in the guy's nostril and then he pulls the trigger. And this is pure speculation, right? I mean, there's no way to know this, but I wonder if he's like, well, I can't draw that super realistically because he's shooting him in the face. Like, so I'm going to make this kind of silly in a way and cartoon this up, So I wonder how much of that unevenness actually was things like that, kind of this interplay of this tonally shifting script,
Yeah, and we don't know if, like, Jeff Roven said that he fought with the Coast people all the time. Like, so for all we know, he asked Nostrand to draw something kind of gnarly, and then it came back and they said, "There's no way in hell you're doing that. Put a cloud of gun smoke over it or something."
That
like
could be.
So, yeah, just the treatment of that stuff, like wanting to be hyper violent but looking like Wile E. Coyote, like it tonally just was all over the place for me, and that was my biggest barrier to enjoying it was the tonal shift, inconsistency. Okay, well, I think we've talked enough about Mr. Targitt. I hope he lived to a ripe old age and is somewhere berating a young agent or something. I don't know. All right, so next up, we're going to have the guys from Marvel by the Month on to talk about The Cougar, which we've famously mentioned throughout the season a little bit as being the book that originally was Jeff Roven saying, we're going to make a Kolchak the Night Stalker comic. They couldn't get the rights, and then it kind of just evolved into whatever we're going to read. I haven't read it yet. Have you, Jacob?
No, I haven't. I'm excited to, though, and I can't wait to talk to the Marvel by the Month boys.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. But if you don't want to wait 2 weeks to hear that episode, you can back us on Patreon and get the Shadow Show. And on our next episode, we're going to be talking about Marvel Premiere number 54, featuring the coming of Caleb Hammer. And have we talked about a Western? We talk about Westerns as a comic genre a lot, but have we ever done an actual Western on the show? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah, that'll be a first for us.
Yeah. Interesting. So we're on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. And you can back us on Patreon if you want at patreon.com/Bronze Age Monsters. We'd love it if you'd leave a comment below on YouTube and give it a like and subscribe. Maybe pass it on to a friend if you think there's somebody you know who would enjoy hearing about John Targitt's exploits. We'd appreciate that. Cool. Jason, thank you so much for taking the time out to read some Bronze Age nonsense with us and talk about it.
Thank you for having me on. It was fun.
Yes. Cool. All right. Well, Jacob, I guess we'll be talking soon. And any final words of wisdom to our audience out there?
From me? Oh no!
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just like,
or Jason,
I've never been asked that before.
Give a man some warning.
Don't smoke in bed. I don't know. Any tips?
Yeah, just life tips in general. Yeah.
Buy low, sell high.
I think buy low.
Get your passport current.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It's too timely.
All right. Well, thanks again, Jason. Good to talk to you, Jacob. All right, folks, as we always say at the end, stay bronze, Bunny Boy. Stay bronze.
Bye.
Bye.